Toastmaster. Okay. My fellow Toastmasters and most welcome. Oh, we do not have guests today. So my fellow Toastmasters, my topic today is something that's come into my life recently and means a lot to me. I'm really excited to share it with you. So let's jump in. Headlines often highlight the philanthropic efforts of the world's super rich, from Warren Buffett to Bill Gates and Amazon's Jeff Bezos. Such large gifts from the wealthy can make one believe that only the wealthy are capable of changing the world. But this is untrue. You might be surprised to learn that 76% of all private sector giving comes from individuals. Last year, Americans gave an astounding $450 billion to charity. That's 6 out of every 10 households of only moderate income. In the game of giving, you and me are more powerful than we realize. Despite our many collective challenges and growing divisions, I believe that we are a society that cares about the needs of others. There's plenty of money to do the work by and for the people when we make building an individual donor base a priority. Today, I want to talk to you about that power specifically by describing grassroots fundraising. I aim to answer 2 questions. 1, what is grassroots fundraising? And 2, why is it important? In 2016, Bernie Sanders raised a new paradigm of raising money, and it burst into public consciousness when he raised $75 million to finance his campaign for the US presidency. With over 1 million donations, averaging about $27 each from millions of people across the country, he upended conventional wisdom about money in politics and started a grassroots fundraising revolution. But Bernie Sanders did not invent grassroots fundraising, he simply popularized it. In American history, there were many historical movements where it was almost entirely funded by the community. The Civil Rights Movement saw African American citizens in southern cities like Birmingham raise thousands of dollars for activities like protesting, training their leaders, and organized activities around voter registration. This, in spite of the fact that many people participating in these movements were distributed in the lowest paying jobs. The power of the community to work together to fund their own cause was more powerful than the powers which oppressed them, and this changed history. But what exactly is grassroots fundraising? There are really 2 parts to this definition. The first is the organized activity of raising funds, fundraising, and the second is that which arises from the very foundation or source, especially in relation to more centralized positions of power like government, foundation, or grants. Grassroots fundraising denotes most of its financial power and reason for being from the community and from common, ordinary people. Still, it's a bit of a nebulous concept and difficult to grasp, but it sounds like this: independent, resilient, democratic, participative, representative, distributed, diverse, and authentic. Maya Angelou said, "Ask for what you want and be prepared to get it." The power of the ask forms the bedrock for grassroots fundraising. You ask your friends and family and your community to become fundraising supporters through a method called peer-to-peer fundraising. But how does this create real results? Normally, you get a one-to-one donation, you submit a grant application, or a donor makes a donation to your organization. But in grassroots fundraising, you take advantage of a kind of network effect. By asking your community, messages about your cause can spread rapidly through networks. And in today's world, that's especially true because we have social media that helps us make a global reach and across many different platforms. But what makes grassroots fundraising more ideal than other kinds of fundraising? Not all money is the same. In fact, even if you manage to raise the same amount of money, there are other features to consider which may not be immediately apparent. First, grassroots fundraising is independent. With a wide base of donors, you're not beholden to any specific party's interests. Grassroots money is resilient. Because the donor base is diverse, you can afford to lose one or two donors whose values or interests no longer align with yours, and this protects you against fund volatility and dependency, which plagues many nonprofits in today's world. Finally, grassroots fundraising is authentic because the organizations get to maintain control over their vision and maintain long-term control over their strategy because they're not beholden to the specific interests of their donors. The social benefits are just as powerful as the financial ones. Grassroots fundraising campaigns are adaptable. Because you're taking advantage of a network effect, if someone's not willing to give money, they may be willing to volunteer or volunteer their time or spread your message through their own networks. Grassroots fundraising campaigns also build credibility for the organization because they demonstrate an organized history, attainable outcomes, and a sense of professionalism. And finally, they, just like Toastmasters, promote the growth of the individual. Skills that are needed to grassroots fundraise are taught to all involved, not just the leaders of the organization. Important skills like social awareness, relationship building, communication, organization, etiquette, and creativity. I hope this information challenges you to get involved in grassroots fundraising for causes that matter to you. Not only will you gain valuable skills, but will gain a sense of pride over having played a small part in changing our world. If you're interested in learning more about a campaign that I'm working on right now, please reach out to me via email for more information. Remember this quote: "Human greatness does not lie in wealth or power, but in character and goodness." Thank you.